Hello friends, today we will be discussing about ecological pyramids. So within ecological pyramids we will be discussing about pyramid of numbers, pyramid of biomass, then we will discuss about pyramid of energy, then we will see what is called ecological efficiency, then we will see what are the limitations of ecological pyramids. Then we will also be discussing about pollutants and the trophic level, which is discussed in the concept of biomagnification. So here we will see what is bioaccumulation and what is the difference between bioaccumulation and biomagnification. So these are the topics that we are going to discuss. So let's begin. Now let's see what is a ecological pyramid. So ecological pyramid is a graphical representation of the relationship between different living organisms at different trophic levels. In the previous class we have discussed about what are trophic levels. So what are trophic levels? Trophic levels are basically the steps involved in a food chain. So trophic level represents different levels of organisms in a food chain. So the graphical relationship or graphical representation of the relationship between different organisms in different trophic levels is called a ecological pyramid. And this concept is given by G. Evelyn and Raymond Lindeman. Now the food producer, that is the green plants. So food producer, which are the green plants, forms the base of the pyramid and the top carnivore forms the tip. So base of the pyramid, because it starts with the producers, and the tip of the pyramid it's formed by the top carnivore. The other consumer trophic levels are in between the producers and the top carnivores. Okay. Now the pyramid consists of a number of horizontal bars depicting specific trophic levels, and they are arranged sequentially from primary producer level through herbivore to the carnivore. So from the primary producer, then in the next level we have the herbivores, then different types of carnivores, and finally the top carnivore. So this thing will be clear for you once we discuss an example. Now the length of each bar represents the total number of individuals at each trophic level in the ecosystem. So the length of each bar, we have seen that the bar is horizontal. So this length of the bar represents the total number of individuals at each trophic level in the ecosystem. Now this is an example of an ecological pyramid. So it starts with the producers, and see the tip of the pyramid we have the tertiary consumers or the top carnivores. So top carnivores would be the tertiary consumers or the last point, and producers are the green plants, and in between them we have the consumers, the other level of consumers. So this is how a ecological pyramid would look like, and there are basically three types of pyramids. One is the pyramid of numbers, so pyramid of numbers, then pyramid of biomass, and we also have the pyramid of energy. So these are the three types of pyramids we have. Now this is what I have just told you. The ecological pyramids are of three categories: of numbers, of biomass, and of energy. We will understand it when we take up each of them separately. So don't worry, we will take each of them separately. First we will come to pyramid of numbers. The number of organisms in each trophic level is considered as the level in the pyramid. Now see, for example, here the producers, if the number of producers are given, then it is a pyramid of number, because each level is represented by how many organisms are there. Now usually the pyramid of numbers are upright, but sometimes they may be inverted. So here what is to be understood? Pyramid of numbers can be both upright, usually it's upright, but it can also be inverted. So it can be either upright or inverted. Now we will understand this when we discuss the other type of pyramids also. And it's very difficult to count all the organisms. So the pyramid of number does not completely define the trophic structure of a ecosystem. Now this is how a pyramid of number, upright pyramid looks like. So this is how an upright pyramid looks like. It looks like a triangle. So producers, primary consumer, secondary consumer and tertiary consumer. Now as we move above the pyramid, the number will reduce. Why? Because suppose for example there are 1000 plants. So this 1000 plants are eaten by maybe 100 frog. Now these frogs are 100 frogs are eaten by suppose maybe 10 snakes, and it must be finally eaten by one falcon. So that is why when we go up on the pyramid, the number will reduce. That is why it looks like a triangle. Now let's see how does the pyramid of numbers, how does it look like? We said it can be upright or inverted. Mostly it's upright. So let's see. Now in case of upright pyramid of numbers, the number of individuals is decreased from lower level to the higher trophic level. So this is what we have seen. This is an example. So from the lower level to the upper level, the number of species will reduce. Now pyramid of numbers inverted, it looks like this. Why? So from the lower level to the upper level, the number of individuals or the species increases. Now for example, tree ecosystem, detritus food chain, where many organisms feed on one dead plant or animal. In case of a detritus food chain, suppose there is one plant which is dead. Now maybe 100 fungus or bacteria will feed upon them, and this may be taken up by another 1000 other microorganisms. So this is how an inverted pyramid of number looks like. So pyramid of number, it's calculated on the basis of number of species involved in each level. Next is the pyramid of biomass. So as we said, there are certain shortcomings in the pyramid of numbers. The shortcoming, what is that? It is that most of the times the exact number may not be available. So to overcome this shortcoming, we have the pyramid of biomass. Here total dry weight of all the organisms at each trophic level is at a particular time is considered. So this is counted in terms of biomass. And what is biomass? It is a total dry weight of all organisms. Now let's see what is a standing crop. It's the dry weight of living material at a particular time at each trophic level. So this is a standing crop. Now biomass is measured in grams or kilograms. Now this is how a pyramid of biomass looks like. So from the producers to the herbivores to the primary consumers and to the carnivores. Now we will see that the biomass reduces as we go upward. What is the reason? We have already discussed the reason, that there is a loss of energy in the form of heat. So there is a loss of energy in the form of heat. Now there are two types of pyramid of biomass, upright and inverted. So the same. So upright means it looks like a triangle like this. So the large base will be there. The base will be very large. The large base of primary producers with smaller trophic level on the top. As we move above, the number will come down. Land ecosystem is a example of pyramid of biomass, which means that in land ecosystem the pyramid of biomass is always upright, and in aquatic ecosystem the pyramid of biomass is inverted. Inverted looks like the other way, okay, an inverted triangle. So it has a small base of primary producers, since the producers are tiny phytoplankton and high consumer biomass. So aquatic ecosystems are usually having a inverted pyramid of biomass. Next one, the third one is pyramid of energy, and this is one type of ecological pyramid which is always upright. So understand, and this concept should be very clear. In case of number and biomass, it can be either inverted or upright, but the pyramid of energy is always upright. It represents the amount of energy at each trophic level and loss of energy at each transfer to another trophic level. Why it is always upright? Because this is calculated in terms of energy. Now we know that as we move above the trophic level, there is always a loss of energy in the form of heat. That is why the pyramid of energy is always upright. And it is used to compare the functional roles of trophic levels in an ecosystem. So this is basically used to compare the functional roles of the trophic levels in a particular ecosystem, and it helps to explain the phenomenon of biological magnification, which we will discuss later. We will discuss what is bioaccumulation and biomagnification. So the pyramid of energy, it is used to compare the functional roles of trophic levels in an ecosystem, and it also helps to explain the phenomena of biological magnification. So let's see what is biological magnification later, then we will understand this concept better. Now let us take an example of a pyramid of energy. So this is an example of pyramid of energy. See, it's always upright. There is no inverted pyramid of energy. It's always upright. From the producers to the primary consumer to the secondary consumer and then to the tertiary consumer. So here we will see there is a decreasing rate of energy flow from one level to the next level, and this is because of the loss of energy from one level to the next. Loss of energy in the form of heat. Now we will see what is called ecological efficiency. So this ecological efficiency is also called Lindeman's 10% law. So ecological efficiency means efficiency with which energy is transferred from one trophic level to the next. So this is called ecological efficiency. Efficiency of the energy flow from one level to the next one. Now what is this 10% law? The 10% law means that only 10% of energy is transferred to each trophic level from the lower trophic level. Now let's take this example. So if we apply this 10% law here, so this means that from the producer, only whatever the producer produces, only 10% can be taken up by the primary consumer. Now what is consumed by the primary consumer, only 10% of it will be taken up by the secondary consumer. Then from here only 10% by the tertiary consumer. So the ecological efficiency or Lindeman's 10% law states that only 10% of the energy is transferred to each trophic level from the previous trophic level, and this is because of the energy loss. So loss of energy at each trophic level. And according to Lindeman, there can be two reasons for loss of energy. One is at each trophic, a part of the available energy is lost in respiration due to this respiration or used up in metabolism. So first reason is respiration. So first one is respiration. Second one is a part of the energy is lost at each transformation. So one is respiration and another one is transformation. So respiration, transformation. Okay. So these are the two reasons according to Lindeman, and understand that according to Lindeman's 10% law, only 10% of the energy will be transferred from one trophic level to the next trophic level. Now let's come to the importance or the significance of ecological pyramid. It shows the feeding of different organisms in different ecosystems. So it shows how different organisms are fed upon each other in different ecosystems. Secondly, it shows the efficiency of energy transfer. So pyramid will help us to understand from one level to the next level how much energy is being transferred. So this shows the efficiency. Third, the condition of the ecosystem can be monitored and any further damage can be prevented. So with the help of ecological pyramid, we can understand what is the condition of the ecosystem, and by understanding that any further damage can be prevented. Now we will see what are the limitations of ecological pyramid. One thing is that more than one species may occupy multiple trophic levels, as in case of a food web. So it is not necessary that it's just one species that occupy a particular trophic level. It can be similar to a food web where the number of species are high. The saprophytes are not considered in any of the pyramids. So we have already learned what are saprophytes, so not explaining that. These pyramids are applicable only to simple food chain. If the food chain is complex or if it is food web, then we cannot consider these ecological pyramid. These pyramids do not deliver any concept in relation to variations in season and climate. So this is another drawback. They do not consider the possibility of existence of same species at different trophic levels. So these are all the limitations. Not very important. That's why I have not gone into the details also. So this is all about ecological pyramid. I hope this much is clear for you.